I think we just started in this bull cycle, so I'm waiting for some crazy price action, probably coming soon or end of year.
Today I sit down with early Bitcoiner and Litecoin creator Charlie Lee.
You think we're just getting started?
Yeah, I think we're just getting started.
Very few people in crypto have the knowledge and experience Charlie Lee has.
I mean, normally these bull markets end with a bang, right? Like a blow off top. It happens pretty much every cycle, so I expect something like this cycle as well.
In this interview, we discuss Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto in 2025, what comes next, and of course, Litecoin.
Litecoin is a long-term store of value, a good investment long-term, and it's also something that is useful. People should actually try to send some Litecoin, use it to buy stuff. They'll realize how useful it is, how cheap it is, and also how fast it is.
Smash the like button, make sure you watch today's whole interview, click subscribe so you never miss conversations like this. Let's start.
Charlie Lee, you've been in crypto for every single bull cycle. The 2014 cycle, the 2017 cycle, the 2021 cycle, and now the 2025 cycle. In what ways is this bull cycle the same or different compared to the cycles you've been through in the past?
Well, you missed one. So I got in at the top of the 2011 bull cycle. In 2011, it went from sub-dollar Bitcoin, went from below $1 to $30. That's when I first got in. And I thought I was late. And then after I got in, it dropped to all the way down to $2. So every cycle it just goes crazy, and then it also has a crazy drop, and you kind of have to just hold on to it and make it out alive. But if you can, then you always come back on top. Um, yeah, it's crazy. It's all these like it seems to Bitcoin or crypto seems to follow this 4-year cycle every time. So like yet people don't kind of don't believe it's going to happen again. And but it always does. So we'll see if it still continues. But yeah, this is a I think we just started in this bull cycle. So I'm waiting for some crazy price action, probably coming soon or end of year.
You think we're just getting started?
Yeah, I think we're just getting started. I mean, normally these bull markets end with a bang, right? Like a blow off top. It happens pretty much every cycle. So I expect something like this cycle as well.
Now, if you were to say the 2025 cycle that we're in, if you were to say it's most like this other cycle from the past, would you say 11, 14, 17, 20, 21? How do you think about it?
Um, I think they're all pretty similar, right? It's just a different narrative. Like it was like ICO narrative, was NFT. I mean, this one is right now it seems to be like the countries adopting crypto and the companies adopting crypto, like the institutional like interests causing the cycle. So I mean, the narrative is always different, but the kind of the price run in the market is always very similar.
Hmm. You're saying this cycle, it's a little bit different in the fact that sovereign wealth and just nation states adopting crypto. I mean, I'd also add, things we've seen over the past year or so, US becoming pro crypto, Wall Street onboarding via the ETFs, treasury companies buying, and of course the sovereign wealth funds loading up. So to me, I've been around a couple cycles now since 2017. This cycle to me seems a bit different. What do you think?
In what ways?
Well, the fact that we didn't have the US has always been against crypto. It's always been a question of will it be banned? Wall Street's never been involved. Treasury companies did not exist before Saylor. And sovereign wealth was never interested. So in those ways, these seem like four big catalysts we've never had before.
Yeah, but also crypto is getting more mature, right? It's harder to move the market, right? There's only like this won't go on forever, right? It's not going to go like 5x every 4 years forever. So it's going to become more mature and the cycles will become less crazy.
Hmm.
That's kind of expected, right? But yeah, you're right though. I mean, this cycle, there's a lot of good news. especially with the US market becoming more crypto friendly. I think it's huge for just for adoption and for more and more people to get into crypto.
Well, let me get your thoughts on the outlook for Bitcoin this cycle. You say that you think an explosive move is coming. So, what would you say is your bear, base, or bull case for Bitcoin in 2025, 2026?
I mean, I've always said in the past few years that the next my kind of price target, I mean, this is just like my price target, right? It can overshoot, can undershoot. I mean, my price has always been 150K this cycle. I mean, we're almost there, so could it like overshoot and have a really big blow off top? Sure. But it's kind of that's just my target. Yeah.
150K is the base case. What would be the bull case for Charlie Lee for Bitcoin in 2025, 2026?
To 300K would be pretty crazy in this cycle.
And what would we be seeing? What would we be seeing in the news and the markets that you think would send us to like what would be like the most bullish thing that could happen in the next year that would really send us there?
I think the bullish thing already happened. The market's kind of catching up to where we are. I mean, with the SEC being a lot more friendly, with a lot of like Bitcoin Treasury company, even like we launched the Litecoin Treasury company. We announced it last week, and the fund closed this today actually. So I mean that's very bullish for crypto, for Bitcoin and altcoins. Um, Yeah, and like when ETF will get likely get approved this year, fingers crossed. So I think it's yeah, I mean there's already a lot of good news out there. I think the market will catch up. Yeah, I don't expect any like crazy big news to cause it to blow off. I think the market will just I mean we've been consolidating for a while and now we've hit the all-time high again. So it's just a matter of time, I think.
I love it. And of course, you bring up Litecoin. You're the man to talk to when it comes to Litecoin. You mentioned you just closed on a treasury company. I'd love if you could explain more about that. And then also, I know you have a Litecoin L2. So there's a lot going on with Litecoin, but just bring us all in. What's new with Litecoin in 2025?
As you know, we a few companies have filed for ETF for Litecoin ETF. It's been delayed by the SEC for a couple times. I expect in October there might be some good news, but we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I've been working hard on working with this company MEIP that's been pivoting from healthcare to a Litecoin treasury play. So they got funding for $100 million, which closes today. And using that, they're gonna buy Litecoin with it and hold on to it, kind of like the MicroStrategy playbook. Um, so the market has already valued the company at a pretty good premium. So we'll see how that goes. But this amount of money would be good for, I see it as a win-win with the Litecoin Foundation. The Litecoin Foundation is a nonprofit. We're pretty lean, right? So I think the treasury company can do a lot to support the foundation and the ecosystem, which would be a win-win if it helps Litecoin, the price goes up and the treasury company will be, or MEIP specifically, will be worth a lot more because of the Litecoin price going up. So yeah, I'm very excited about the future of Litecoin and how this plays out.
Now, elephant in the room, Charlie, and obviously you've been working hard on Litecoin for since the very beginning, but certainly since 2017. But we always get the comments saying, "Oh, Charlie Lee famously sold the top back in 2017." And what people want to know, Charlie, is did you sell too early?
Um, Eventually it'll be too early. But like in 2017, this is like what is it, like 8 years ago? I did sell about like average price of $200. The price then shot up to 420 on I think on Coinbase, and that was the all-time high. It dropped back down quite a bit to like $30, I think. And then in 2021 it went back up to about 400 some dollars. I don't think it went to all-time high on all the exchanges, but on some exchanges it did. And now we're back down to 110, 120. It's been a roller coaster ride. I expected to I expect to eventually like pass what I sold it at and pass all-time high. I think I don't regret selling it. At the time, it was the right decision to kind of divest my investment and just be working on Litecoin without holding any. So there's no kind of accusation of I'm just kind of pumping my own bags. And a lot of people actually thought I left when I sold because they just expected that the founder would just sell everything and just disappear, right? But I've actually been working with the foundation since 2017. We hold the Litecoin Summit almost every year. Took a couple years off for COVID, but it's been a great success. I think Litecoin itself, not talking about price, Litecoin, the network has been like running nonstop, like no downtime since 2011. But it's also been used a lot. People use it for purchases. It's acted like it's real useful as money because of the low fees, fast transactions, and on BitPay, the most popular crypto payment processor, Litecoin has been the most used coin in every month for over like 12 plus months and even more so than Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's kind of a pleasant surprise, but not totally unexpected because of how useful Litecoin is. That said, the price hasn't really reflected kind of the adoption and usage, but I think it will catch up soon.
And what's it going to take to bring Litecoin to get, more valued in the market for that price to appreciate? What's it going to take to, you think it's going to happen soon? What are we going to see that gets us there?
Well, one of the reasons why I worked on this Litecoin Treasury Company is because not only would they put $100 million of capital into Litecoin, which would help with the price, it would also kind of get the word out. So Litecoin, one of the things with Litecoin is because it just works, like it's boring, right? You kind of want your money to be boring, right? You don't want it's not great if the value of your money goes up and down like tenfold. You want it to be a good store of value, but you also don't want it to be very volatile, right? So in that sense, Litecoin has been acting very good as money because it's been very stable. Um, but the reason why it hasn't seen a lot of positive price action, I think, has to do with kind of marketing, right? We're boring, we work, it works, it just but we don't kind of get the word out. So people, it gets kind of it gets a lot of the meme coins, right, get all the attention, right? People like to dump money into the meme coins, thinking that it's going to make them rich. So Litecoin doesn't get all the attention, but hopefully this treasury market, Litecoin Treasury Company, would get more people into Litecoin, especially the institutional side, right? So I'd love to see that happen.
Totally. I think that could be, I think that could happen because really, what has made Bitcoin really appreciate over these past couple years? One, clear narrative, crystal clear narrative. Two, Wall Street ETFs. And three, treasury companies. I mean, those three are like the biggest things and sovereign wealth. Litecoin, very clear narrative, I think. Treasury companies just starting to happen, and Wall Street ETF just about to be fully approved.
Yeah, so I think that those few things would be a good catalyst for positive price movement, and I think, and that also would lead to kind of more people hearing about Litecoin. So it's all good.
So you gave us your base case and bull case for Bitcoin in 2025 and 2026. Please share your bull and base case for Litecoin.
Good. I'd never like to talk about Litecoin price, but I'd love to see Litecoin obviously get back to the all-time high, right? Um, we're quite a bit away from that, but I hope to see that happen this cycle.
And that's 400 or what is it?
It's 420 on Coinbase. It was the kind of the famous all-time high price.
Right. Right. You think 420 is happening this cycle?
I hope so. I can't. You can never predict prices. Yeah.
Charlie, what's the number one thing you wish more people understood about Litecoin?
Um, I wish more people would see it as something that is useful, right? As opposed to just an investment asset that would make them rich, right? A lot of people compare like they're saying like Litecoin price is the same or just barely above what it was um, 4 years ago or 8 years ago, right? And um, I mean, I wish people would realize that that's a good thing, right? The point of this asset class is to be a good store of value, right? You don't want it to be a depreciating asset. You want it to be an appreciating asset. It's not going crazy like some, it's like comparing like some, if you want to compare the stock, it's like comparing a good company stock price, like positive movement over the years with like a penny stock that could potentially like 100x someone's money if they put all their money in there, right? So it's not a good comparison, right? So Litecoin is a long-term store of value, good investment long term, and it's also something that is useful, right? If people should actually try to send some Litecoin, use it to buy stuff, they'll realize how useful it is, how cheap it is, and also how fast it is. That's what I want people to realize. Actually, just go out there and actually use it instead of just buying it, hoping it will make you rich.
Hmm. And I briefly mentioned it, the Litecoin Layer 2 that is coming to market or has come to market. I'm not sure. You tell me. Is the Litecoin Layer 2 something the community should be excited about? Is it going to blow up like the Ethereum Layer 2s? Is it going to be more like the Bitcoin Layer 2s? How should we think about it?
I think it's still like an experiment. There's quite a few different layer twos being built on Litecoin, and it's not something that I personally am working on myself, right? So I think Litecoin needs to be at the core layer, base layer, it needs to be stable. It needs to work. No never downtime, nothing fancy, and because you don't want if someone's trying to spend money, um, spend Litecoin, right? You don't want the network to be down. The network can't be down, right? You can't like prevent someone from spending their coins. Fees can't go crazy to like $5 a transaction. So it has to be low fees. The network has to work. That's an important thing with Litecoin, right? The base layer has to just work. But people can do fancy stuff on top of it. There's one called like LitVM that is building something on top of Litecoin. There's a Zcash, sorry, zero zk knowledge proof one on top of Litecoin. There's a Litecoin computer,
Hmm.
similar to Bitcoin computer. That is another EVM compatible layer.
I heard about the
There's a
Lit
lot of
VM. I didn't even realize there was all of these different ones. I heard about Lit VM.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ones doing like kind of different things, and we'll see which ones become successful. But they're all kind of experimenting on top of Litecoin, just like they've been experimenting on top of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Um, as the Litecoin Foundation supports like all of them, right? We want to see people try different things, and we want them to all succeed. Um, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff built on top of Litecoin, right? There's like Litecoin ordinals. There's a lot of stuff like that, NFTs and stuff. All cool stuff being kind of experimented on Litecoin, and yeah, I'd love seeing all that stuff happening.
Let me ask you a handful of fun questions, Charlie, as we're wrapping up today. First of all, were you euphoric when Bitcoin hit 100K? As an early Bitcoin holder, did you get euphoric at all?
Not really. Um, kind of. I mean, it was exciting times, right? I mean, it's always exciting when Bitcoin breaks a certain kind of level, right? But in the end, it's just a kind of a human thing, like assigning certain importance to a certain number, right? 100K is no different from 90K, right? No different from 80K. Um, but yeah, 100K is a big number, 500K is a big number, 1 million will be the biggest number. But when we get there, then people will think about the next number, right?
Right,
So.
right, exactly. I got euphoric with my zero point 0.1 Bitcoin at 100K, looking at my portfolio, but then now I'm numb to it. Now I'm ready for the next one. Um, Next question, Charlie. Today, right now going forward, are you more bullish today on Bitcoin or Ethereum?
I've never been that bullish on Ethereum, so I would say Bitcoin, but I am more bullish today on Litecoin than Bitcoin.
Of course. All right, how about this? Give me your top three altcoins, Charlie, that you're bullish on. Obviously, we can put Litecoin right at number one.
Yeah. Litecoin, Bitcoin,
Altcoins.
number oh, altcoins. Litecoin, uh I can't think of another one.
That's not even Ethereum. Ethereum's not even worth talking about.
I think I like what Ethereum is doing. I just don't know about the price, right? I don't like if you're talking about just the price, I think the Ethereum price has already gone up quite a bit, and for like surprisingly without like any good news. So like would I buy Ethereum today? No, I wouldn't. Um, but I've never been like a huge Ethereum fan in the first place. Yeah, because I think Ethereum has just a lot of competition. I mean, it's same with Litecoin, right? There's a lot of things competing for kind of the for people's investment dollars. But Ethereum has quite a bit of competition in their space from like Solana and all these other kind of Ethereum wannabes, and they are definitely making ground. So yeah,
Totally. Very surprising recently. Tom Lee coming out as a big Ethereum bull. No relation to you, Tom Lee coming out as a
no,
big Ethereum bull. That was a big get for Ethereum, I think, getting Tom Lee.
wasn't he always a fan of Ethereum?
He
I
was,
thought
but
he
now
was.
that his business, Bitmine, is attached to it and he's executive or whatever. Now he's like a real cheerleader. So he's always been bullish, but now it seems like he's kind of diverting the conversation to talk Ethereum all the time.
Yeah.
Big get, big get. Charlie,
What's your favorite altcoins?
well, at Altcoin Daily, we're bullish on the market. I mean, I like Ethereum. Ethereum is my second biggest holding. I like Solana. I'd go Ethereum and Solana to be honest, but
The top two.
my top two, and then my biggest holding has been Bitcoin. But no matter what, I just want crypto to succeed in general, and
Sure, yeah.
my business can continue can continue thriving, and you know, I'm a believer in crypto. So something's got to work, whether it's the money, whether it's DeFi. I'm rooting for it all.
Yeah, because like everyone's experimenting. This is still experiment, right? Even Bitcoin is an experiment. Um, but like, yeah, I love seeing all the different things being tried.
So, like you said, we're in experimentation zone. Give me your future outlook having nothing to do with price. Where do you see the future of crypto heading?
Um, well, I mean, we're starting to see a lot of company kind of holding crypto now, and a lot of countries starting to hold crypto. I think I mean, I've always said like the ultimate goal is for let's just say Bitcoin, right? The ultimate goal is for Bitcoin to become like the world reserve currency, right? To replace gold, where countries will actually hold Bitcoin in their reserve because it's the best store of value, right? So similar to gold, and then countries will also protect the network, right? They'll be mining Bitcoin, helping protect the network, and making kind of protecting their own reserve currency. Um, their own treasury, right? So I think that's kind of like the ultimate goal. Will we get there? I think eventually, yes. It might take some time, but we're actually really far along that path to see that happening, actually. I mean, some countries are already doing it, so
Hmm. Charlie, thank you so much for coming on the channel today. You're a legend in the space doing big things. Guys, go follow Charlie, go follow Litecoin, check out the Treasury Company, check out the soon-to-be Wall Street ETF. Charlie, final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience.
one thing I want to mention is the treasury company name is MEI Pharma, so the ticker symbol MEIP. Take a look at it. I mean, I think it's a cool very cool play for the company and also for Litecoin. So I'm very excited about that.
Way better than the Ethereum Treasury companies, am I right?
Well, sure. I mean, Ethereum has many of those treasury companies already. There's many Bitcoin, many Ethereum, and many Solana companies, but this is the first major one in the US market for Litecoin. So it's a big move for us.
For sure. Very exciting. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, thanks a lot.